Corey?
I can call the
You
police.
can cue him.
I have to
So Corey will, yeah, if you're more or less ready, Corey will let you know at 10:30.
I've got to put my foot on the brake, put it in neutral, and rev.
Okay, great.
Gas, so it doesn't
Appreciate that.
slow.
That's
So I
excellent.
emptied all the shit out of my car because
You're not the one you put on for this one.
oh, that's the one. I
Minute and a half.
do have the little microphone, but you know the thing is,
We'd be good to go.
you can't use the viewfinder then.
No, you can't.
Great, thank you.
And also, you can't use the viewfinder to shoot.
For video?
Well, you'd never be able to focus on this.
Just
Yeah,
put it
that I
on
know.
there.
We'll try doing it on a sunny day.
Well, no, but we're not.
Yeah, I
outside
know,
right
but you
now.
know what I mean, right?
Okay.
And they said, well, can you use that? I said, no, I've only got one camera.
They wanted me to ask it, and I know that
Use your
One
iPhone.
it
minute.
says don't ask it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Use your iPhone.
Like, this is gonna be fun, right?
Paul, that question that Jay is just talking about, can we do that afterwards?
100%.
Quick chat, 'cause we're just not sure.
100%. Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, this will be a good shot. I like it. Your man is in the foreground, and then
I might do it, right?
do it.
You
Do
should,
it, do it, do
yeah,
it, do it.
I wasn't thinking.
You guys were gonna Snapchat this, right?
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Oh, gosh.
Make sure this is good now.
Yeah.
How's it work?
Well, what do you?
Clear,
Audio
back
is
of your head.
Let's show
Shiny enough for you?
Never do that again.
Can I
I
talk to
was,
you
I've
after
never seen a head
Yeah.
look so nice.
Because I can show you
greased it
some
up
stuff
before,
that
so
I'm
it
sure
should
they'll
be
pay
ready to
for.
go.
And it's cheap.
Like what?
I'll show you afterwards.
okay, yeah.
Right now I have to concentrate fully on.
I totally.
Here we go. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming down this morning. The Vancouver Police are warning the public to be vigilant after receiving at least 8 reports of distraction thefts targeting the elderly in the last month. The thefts involve strangers getting out of vehicles and approaching elderly people who are wearing visible jewelry. The thieves are making various excuses to make contact with these people. Some suspects are conversational and very pleasant, while others will appear frantic and be asking for assistance, whether that be for directions or for help. These thieves are very smooth and will get into your personal space very quickly. It's often well after the fact that these guys are gone and the victims realize that their jewelry has been stolen. We're encouraging family and friends to tell seniors in their community about this scam and to help educate them, to remind them not to let anyone get into their personal space. If someone's trying to get into your personal space, take a step back, call the police. I'm going to give you a few examples of what we're talking about here. So just before 5 o'clock on May 22nd, a 70-year-old Chinese woman was approached in her driveway by 2 suspects who started to overwhelm her, and immediately approach her and trying to talk to her. English was a second language, and they were trying to put rings on her fingers, trying to put a necklace around her neck. She did the right thing. She became uncomfortable. She could feel that they were trying to remove something, a piece of her jewelry. She did push away, but unfortunately the suspects were able to flee. They left the area, and they did get a piece of her valuable jewelry. In another instance, on May 30th, an 80-year-old Italian woman was approaching her driveway of her home in East Vancouver. A frantic woman got out of a vehicle. She got right up to the lady who speaks Italian and right away started asking for help. I need help. Where's a hospital? Where's a hospital? My child is in the car. I really need to get to the hospital. He's so sick. The woman provided directions. She was helpful, and then the suspect responded by going in to give her a hug to say thank you for the directions. While she was doing that, she started removing the victim's necklace from her neck. The woman who had a cane used that cane. She hit the suspect who ran off, who said, I'm so sorry, don't call the police, don't call the police. Meanwhile, a second suspect gets out of the same vehicle and approaches, says, please forgive us, don't call the police, and came up and started overwhelming her again and touching the victim's hands, trying to steal her rings. The second suspect had gotten out of the vehicle, pled with her not to call the police, and also tried to steal the rings a second time off her hands. Those people left. They did not get any of the property. We're not providing a specific suspect description in these incidents because we believe that there is more than one group of people that are actively participating in these events. Anyone who's approached by these suspects is asked to call 911 immediately. Anyone who may have information about these crimes or has been a victim of these crimes in the past and has not yet made a police report is asked to contact our investigators at 604-717-0613. I'll try to answer any questions that you have.
The suspect vehicles, what kind of vehicles are they? Is it the same vehicle? Do we have any sort of lead on that regard?
We don't know that it's the same vehicle. We're looking at rental vehicles. We're looking at personal vehicles that are older, newer. And that's why we're not giving specific descriptions on these, because it's a variety of suspects, vehicle descriptions. What we're trying to do is education is key. We want people to tell a friend, get out there, talk to your neighbors, talk to your loved ones, and just let them know that these types of things are happening. They are targeting elderly people. They appear to be taking advantage of people with English as a second language. So they tend to overwhelm you. They'll get into your personal space and, you know, they're trying to sell you jewelry, whatever scam they're trying to use. But the end result is they're elderly people that we've been seeing targeted. They've been visually or openly wearing jewelry. So whether it's a necklace, earrings, rings, and they have been successful. These people have been standing up for themselves as well, the elderly people, the victims, and some people have just told them, get out of my space, back off, and they're doing the right thing. But regardless, if you've been a victim of this, please give us a call and let us know. We want to help, and we want to identify who's responsible.
Is it normally that aggressive? Like they're coming in, they're grabbing them, they're kind of talking to them like that? Or can it just sometimes be casually coming up and just starting a conversation? You said they're smooth. I just kind of want a bit more, furthermore on the smooth side of it.
So with the smooth side, it's not always, aggressive is not necessarily the right word that I would like to use. I'd like to use overwhelming. It appears to be a technique that they're using. They're coming up, they're engaging in conversation. So it could start off as being very casual. It could move into an offer to sell jewelry, new jewelry, or blessed jewelry, or those types of things. It can quickly escalate, not to the point where there's any violence. Usually it's any fault. We have had people fall. Usually that occurs because the victims are reactive. They're reacting to what's happening, so they're taking a step back, they lose their balance. Luckily, we've not had any serious injuries. But again, we're asking people to please share this information with your loved ones, with your neighbors. If you have a neighbor that lives alone and could be a target of this, please share the information with them. It's very important.
Geographically, is there anything that you've noticed in terms of these being near seniors' homes or senior centers or anything like that, or are these just completely random on the street?
We have analysts right now that are continuing to look back. We're not stopping with these 10 or these 8. We're looking back to see if there are additional ones that could possibly be related. In one of these, we did locate a vehicle with 3 people in it. We did identify them. There wasn't enough information and continues not to be enough information to lay criminal charges. We've identified them. We've shared that information with our policing partners throughout the province. We are comparing notes with other agencies. Our goal here is, number one, identify these people, hold them accountable for past offenses, but to prevent future ones. We don't want people getting hurt, but also we don't want these people targeting the elderly. It's just completely uncalled for, in my opinion. For this map here, you'll see we've got a number of dates. It does appear to be just into the East Vancouver area. Why they are targeting that area, I'm not sure. The residents. We did have one particular incident where an elderly person was approached in a Value Village. It did occur in a Value Village as well. So it's not just at homes, but we're seeing the trend of people being in their comfort zone, in their residence, or at their residence.
Why do you think the suspect are targeting elderly who English as second language? Do you think they're all vulnerable?
I don't think that anyone with a second language or the elderly are actually more vulnerable. I think that's the target for these for this particular set of crooks. They're going up there with the second language. I suspect part of their MO in police jargon is it helps them overwhelm them. So they initiate conversation. Once they see that there's a bit of confusion, they don't know exactly what they're up to, and before you know it, they're into your personal space. They've taken a piece of your jewelry and they're off. And then when they're trying to explain that to a passerby, the victim, sometimes communication can be an issue, and that could create a delay in the call to police. So what we want to hear is our 911 go off, say, hey, 2 people or someone just tried to take advantage of me, as I saw in the media report, and I'd like to report that right now. And this is what I saw, this is what happened.
So it kind of goes against the grain for a lot of people to be that sort of forceful in getting someone out of your space. Can you address that in terms of it's not about being polite, it's not about hurting people's feelings, it's about keeping people away from you that they may not have the best intentions. So your advice is to just what?
Our advice is to, your personal space is your personal space. We want you to respect that. You have to be invited into, you have to invite people into your personal space. So we don't want, we're encouraging people, I'm thinking of a better way to put it, but essentially we're encouraging anyone, not just elderly people, to respect your personal space and respect the space of others. So if someone is entering into your space, they have to be invited. If they're not, you're absolutely 100% in the right to take a step back to say, hey, hold on a second here, just take a step back, you're making me uncomfortable.
If a step back is impossible though, and you are saying like these guys are being kind of all over that person, be it a senior citizen, is it better to just say, okay, kind of let this situation go and then call police? Like you don't want it to escalate into violence at that point again.
Property can be replaced. Injuries are tough to recover from. We don't, although we have not had any injuries or any acts of violence towards the victims, we are recommending that you try to get your space and you try to communicate verbally that back up, get away from me. But if that's not the case, you feel that your safety is at issue, the property can be replaced. Just please give us a call and make the report. We can't do anything about these incidents if we're not told.
Have you heard of any other jurisdictions dealing with this?
This isn't unique to Vancouver. Throughout the province and probably across the country, we see similar types of offenses. It's not the first time that elderly people have been targeted, people from various ethnicities, whether it's a blessing scam in the past where you would see people come up and say, let me, I forget the proper term, but basically, elder, let me please bless your jewelry, let me give you good luck. Another one would be, let me clean it. Let me take it off and clean it, and then they replace it with fake jewelry. So they're only as limited by their creativity, and unfortunately in this circumstance that they are taking advantage of the elderly.
We've gone to places like New York, we've seen, you know, situations like that's happened there in these big cities. Have you guys seen it in Vancouver in the past at this rate? I mean, you're talking about 8 incidents over less than a month there, so obviously there's been a spike. Have we seen this before where it has just been a big push all of a sudden?
We have provided previous warnings with various similar scams. As far as the numbers, I don't know. We are a lot more sensitive to it now. We're always looking for it. We're looking for the opportunity to prevent crime and to hold people accountable.
Thanks, sir.
We're good.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, sir.
Anything else?
That's it.